Greetings, precious, magnificent, sweet, powerful, strong, able, divine being. Jiva. I call it Jiva. It's in the Vedic one, because it defines it. It defines us in a sense of getting more of a sense, I'm that of who we are as a particle of the divine, a spark of the divine. That's who we are. My topic, dear one, first of all, take a deep breath. Be right here. Be open. All right. The number one way humans are being controlled. The number one way humans are being controlled. Okay. We're being controlled by omission. Omission. By not being told about who we really are. Eternally, spiritually, divinely, and what those powers and abilities are. The two major areas that are, number one, the ability and power you have for individual intentionality. Aside from group, hive mentality, you're an individual with an individual intentionality power to intentionally manifest whatever you desire now. That's true. The other one is that you have a strict moral code that is denied, that to make you think it's all okay because it's your truth. And if it's their truth and it's their way, it's okay. That's not true. If you are harming or intend to harm, stop, control, abuse in any way a living entity, human or animal, in any way, because it's unnecessary and not needed. And people say, yeah, what about animals and eating? Well, take a look at your teeth. I'm having challenge with mine. When we were kids, we'd go to the dentist and they put mercury in your hand and you'd roll around and look at it. Besides, they put it all through your mouth and everything else. Interesting. But anyway, so this moral integrity by saying it's your truth and it's my truth, so it's okay. No, there is a strict moral code that is, and people will say, well, and to take a look at the story, it's the Abrahamic story of Adam and Eve. But remember, it's a story of a particular group. That's not in every teaching. That is not in indigenous teaching. It's not in Vedic teachings. It's not in Buddhist teaching. It's not in any of these. It's in the Abrahamic one of so-called Adam and Eve. And when you take a look at an atom is also the atom. And you take a look at how the atom is created. A good person to research on this is Brian Camilla, Kemila. Brian Camilla, he's really cool on this. And you see how the colors and the prism of the prison, prison of the prism, as the light gets fractured and creating and producing the material of this reality, but that still comes from God. And they say it's all God's will in the sense, not that God will want you to suffer, but you have your free will. So that is honored. If you want to have a will separate from all the totality of goodness, go right ahead and be somebody else if you want. That's fine. But you see, that information and knowledge of how humans are created is not freely given except through the Vedas and some of the others, indigenous teachings, okay? You'll get little bits of it, but you won't get the important thing about who you are because somebody's got to come on a spaceship and save your tushy. Okay? And you can't manage your life because you're too stupid, and we'll have rules and laws, and we'll tell you who God is and who the rulers are, and you're inferior. You're called a commoner, and then the others are betters, and they're uncommon, and these are labels. This is a business plan. This is a racket, you see. So, how humanity is controlled is basically from what you're not told. from what is omitted from the educational system, okay, in the beginning of when you want to learn spellcasting with numbers and letters, making words, thought forms that are alive and living in. Just like if someone gave you the program that no one will ever love you, someone have maybe said that to you as a kid, no one will ever love you if you keep acting like that, and then you always feel you're not loved and you're always hunting for love. You are loved. You don't have to go anywhere. They don't have it. You just aren't giving love to the object of your love. You're trying to get something, so you're sitting there feeling bad because nobody loves you, so you're not lovable. That has nothing to do with it. Those are movies. Those are scripts. Those are predictive programming for you to take on those characters and those roles and suffer from that. See, that mental world is set up for suffering because it's based on scarcity. It's not based on truth and knowledge of who you are. You have to do your research, your work. You have to, and well, I'm in this group, and I don't believe that, and I got to be careful of this. When anybody tells me don't study that, I'm going to go study it. I want to find out for myself if I want to. Exactly. You do that. And so anyway, when you take back your power, you say, you have to know that moral thing is, and in the Garden of Eden, that thing you're going to be probably really upset. It's not the apple tree. Apples are good for you. Everything on the apple tree is healthy for the body. Okay? It's the flesh or the blood of a human or animal can't do. You cannot do that. And what that is stopping the expression of another living entity, a real divine being, okay, just like you and me. And when we take back our powers, we have to take back our moral compass. And that moral compass is your inner guide, not the mind that is full of resentment. I'll get even with that sucker if it's the last thing I do. How dare they? They're taking what I want. Who do they think they are? You go on, I believe this, I believe that. I have many degrees, you know. I know everything. And I have no degrees at all. I know nothing, of course. No, stop. Everybody is, and forget this equality stuff. This is really stupid. That means you and I are the same. 1 + 1 = 2. Maybe 1 + 1 = 3, too. You never know. I think it does. But anyway, because I learned that. You have to unlearn that. And when you take your power back to who you are, you take back your intentionality. And if 5,000 fall to the left and 10,000 fall, that's what they want. Move ahead, because your world is individual, and we're also part of a collective. But we're not a bunch of ants on an ant hill. You better get that. You're not a hive mentality. It isn't all the same, all going in the same direction, all doing the same thing, all blah, 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 blah. No. Glorify that individuality and also part of a team. It's all of it and beyond. So that's it. Intentionality and your own moral code inside. And you do know what that is, regardless of what someone else tells you. You know, and so do animals. I saw this really great little video. This dog, is YouTube, of course. He pulls the drawer out. I already told you last time. And he takes a couple of treats, and then he starts to leave, and he goes back, and he closes the door. And also this other one, this pug dog, he was behind the dog gate, the dog thing. So the human, his human friend, leaves the house, and then the dog, he knows how to jump on the wall above the gate, and he bounces off the wall. He's outside. Don't tell me they're not smart. You see, so it's fabulous when we really take our power back. Then we get to appreciate the others because we appreciate ourselves. Hugs.